All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continually teach us this truth. And peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, this could be an edifying lesson. And I'll think of the title at the end of this video. But pretty much I was meditating and I was just thinking about, not being too emotional because that could get you killed. And I was just meditating on, because I have kids, and I love them, as well as other brothers, have kids, that they love, or you may have a wife that you love. But the times we're coming into, we got to be prepared, which we don't know what our lot is. Our lot could be, could the scriptures speak about the elect lady, speaks about how, a woman can be saved through childbearing, can be saved, through a man of the Lord, so we don't know what our lot is. But then on the balance side, it's good to meditate on, the scriptures where it speaks about, Lot's wife, which I'm holding, because that could very well be our lot, and if you're too emotional, that's why, like Apostle Tahar, I heard him say a couple times, when you read the scriptures, you can't be emotional, because if you get emotional or something, then that could be a stumbling block, which, this topic is a stumbling block to a lot of guys. A lot of people don't want to hear about, they may have to lose their kids or, things that they care of. But hey, that's a part of being in this, man. That's why the Lord made this statement, which, I got it up. This is Luke chapter 14 verse 25. And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't, love your woman and your kids, or your mom, or take care of them. But it means in priorities, who should come first? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. And if you're in a mind frame of putting your woman first or your kids first, or anybody, any relative, then you cannot be a disciple of the Lord. Because if the Lord was to take them away from you, you more than likely would forsake the ministry, and the times we're coming into, we don't know what our lot is. Of course, we hope that, first of all, we hoping that we're a part of the elect. Me, myself, man, I'm hoping that I can be delivered. But, I also hope that my woman and my kids could be delivered. But, I don't know if that's my lot. It's some lot. It's that lot is for certain brothers, and certain brothers, their lot is, to play the role as Lot did, and we got to bear that. That's why it says in verse 27, and whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Because everything that we go through, we have to endure it and keep fighting, which I'm going to go ahead to where Yahweh Shah mentioned it, and then I'm going to get the account. This is Luke chapter 17 verse 26. And as it was in the day of Noah, which is talking about Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man when he come back. It says they did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. So people were doing what they're doing today, just living it up in the world, not meditating on the judgment that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is about to bring. It says, likewise also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. It says, even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. So he's using two great judgments that happen, and he's comparing it to when he come back. You know, it says, in that day he which shall be upon the housetop, and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away, and he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife, right? And he mentioned Lot's wife because what happened to Lot's wife? She looked back, meaning she didn't want to leave. She was comfortable, you know, and she died. You know, which I'm gonna get the account, you know, before I speak too much on it. You know, I want to go into it and then speak on it, you know. But that could be our role, man. That's why our lot. That's why Yahweh mentioned that, because brothers got wives, brothers got kids, but we understand what we're involved in. And even, you know, us ourselves may have to die. You know, you have certain brothers that passed on, man, you know, that died in this thing. And also, certain brothers are going to die when the mark of the beast is made mandatory, which is the RFID chip. That's why in Revelation, the 20th chapter, you know, John spoke about that. He saw men beheaded for not taking the chip. Man, that could be us. You know, and the mentality that we should have is that, you know, if that's our role, Lord willing, the Lord gives us the strength to endure it. If that's our lot. If our lot is to play the role of, you know, what Lot had to go through, which I'm about to get, we should have that mentality that, Lord willing, the Lord gives us the strength to endure it, man. You know, because we will need strength from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which if we're the elect, he's going to give us that strength that we need. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead into this account. This is Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. It says, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. It says, and he said, behold, now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake cake, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. So the whole city came, man. You know, because during this time, it was just like what you see today. You know, you had Sodomites everywhere. You know, which I just seen one on my way, you know, to the elevator, man. You know, this is modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. But anyway, you know, you had that going on. You had homosexuality, lesbianism, which that's a sin worthy of death. And just off that alone, you know, the Lord would be justified in destroying this place. That's why it says in 2 Peter, you know, that was an example of what it says, making them an example unto them out there that should live ungodly. Roughly paraphrasing, you know, because that was an example of not to live, or that great destruction would come upon you. But anyway, to keep reading, it says, and they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us that we may know them. So they wanted to have sex with them. It says, and Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. So, man, Lot, man, a man would not do what he did today, man. You know, he was willing to give up his two daughters. You know, that's a very honorable man right there. But reading on, it says, and they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them? And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. So they was trying to bust in his home. Which I'm about to get to the point, I'm just reading the story. It says, but the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut to the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. So the angels blinded them. It says, and the men said unto Lot, now we get to the point, hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in this city, bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. So the angels was telling him, like, look, man, everybody you love, get them and get out of here. And Lot went out, and which Lot, he was already in the spirit of the scriptures say he was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. So he hated being there, man. Just like the men of the Lord today hate being in Babylon. It says, and Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. So they didn't take him seriously. He told them, and they didn't take him seriously. And Lot didn't get emotional and say, you know what, I love y'all. He was in the spirit of like, man, you ain't trying to listen, I'm gone. And that's a spirit that the Lord is going to put us in, Lord willing, we the elect. It says, and when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. It says, and while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him, and they brought him forth and set him without the city. It says, and it came to pass, when they had brought them forth a bride, that he said, escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain, escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, oh, not so, my Lord. So he like, yeah, I don't want to die. I don't want to be consumed in the judgment of this place. He was in the spirit of getting out of there. It says, behold, now thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast shewed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me, and I die. Behold, now this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one, and my soul shall live? And he said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou become thither. So the city wasn't going to be destroyed till he left. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. It says, the sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered unto Zoar. It says, then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. It says, and he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. You see that? So his wife, now like brothers say, more than likely, she didn't really look back and burned up. This means that she was comfortable. She didn't want to leave Sodom and Gomorrah. And a lot of us brothers that have women, our women are comfortable in Babylon. They're comfortable having liberty, having freedom, having, the ability to deal with other men if they choose to, the ability to get spoiled by the government. So a lot of women that we deal with, a lot of them, is going to comply with taking the chip just so that they could keep their freedom and rights as women in Babylon, But once again, on the balance side, you do have a lot of women and children that's going to be delivered through their husbands, the men of the Lord. you know, but it's important that we think about both spectrums, you know, because once again, like I said, we don't know what our lot is, you know, and the more you think about it, the more, you know, you pray, you know, that the Lord gives you the strength to endure, you know, if it's your lot to forsake them, you know, and the more at ease you be about it, because at the end of the day, you know, Yahweh Shah said this is Matthew chapter 19, verse, I'm going to just go to the point, verse 29. And everyone that have forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive an hundredfold and shall inherit everlasting life. So we understand that, you know, we understand both sides of the spectrum. We understand that if it's our lot to lose our loved ones, we're going to get them back. You know, and if we're the elect, we could, man, the Lord, he could have them materialize for you in the kingdom. He could, you know, he could, just like Melchizedek, how he was able to materialize, you know, it said he didn't have mother or father. He was just there, you know, which that was Yahweh Shah. You know, Melchizedek goes to the Hebrew Malat Tazadat, which means king of righteousness. All right. But, hey, the Lord could do that, you know, if we, you know, remain loyal, forsake them, you know, if they don't want to, if they're not with the program, you know, nothing is impossible to Yahweh Shem Shah. So if we have to lose them, hey, like I said, you know, the Lord could have them materialize, you know, right there at the beginning of the kingdom. Or you could pray that they be, you know, born early and you get them back, you know, or, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to get your wife back. You know, you're going to get your kids back because that's our seed, you know, and the man carries the seed, not the woman. So you guarantee you're going to get your sons back anyway. You know, but that's why the Lord said this. He said, look, if you forsake these things for his name's sake, hey, we're going to receive a hundredfold. We're going to get it back way greater and inherit everlasting life, you know. But this was just something that I was meditating on, you know, not being, you know, emotional, man, because if you're making judgments based off emotions, you're not going to make it. You know, and that's why we got to eat the whole roll, man, because a lot of dudes that may not go into this or may not know of this, when that time comes, they're not going to know what to do. They're going to think the Lord ain't dealing with them. No, that's a test, man. You know, if your wife and your kids step, they take the chip, hey, that's a test to see if you're going to fold. And our forefathers are examples of not being emotional. You know, Abraham, when the Lord told him to sacrifice Isaac, which that was spiritual because Isaac is Yahweh Shah in the reincarnation, you know, which Yahweh Shah was a sacrificial lamb for the sins of the elect of the nation of Israel. But Abraham didn't get emotional. He was going to do it until he was stopped. And that pleased the Lord. You know, and there's many other examples of men being tested throughout the scriptures and not getting emotional, not selling out. Just like, hey, with the story in Daniel about the 3 men that were put into the fire. You know, if they were emotional, they would have been like, you know what, let's do what the king told us to do and worship these other gods so we won't die. No, they didn't get emotional. You know, they maintained their integrity. And what happened? The Lord had it to where it was like they didn't even go in the fire. They were in there walking around. You know, you see? And these are miracles that Yahweh Shem Shah is going to perform on an even greater level in the times that we're coming into. You know? So, you know, these are just things to meditate on. You know, I was meditating on it. I just wanted to share it. You know, which once again, like I said, we don't know what our lot is. You know? But it's good to meditate on this. You know, but anyway, Lord willing, this was edifying. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.